CEO and management optimism, their goal, their plan, some of their experience, and a little bit of their credentials. Bionano's CEO has expressed countless times what he thinks will happen in the future. His goal, global sapphire adoption, right? Global. We're not talking a couple more adoptions. We're talking making the current total addressable market the new serviceable obtainable market, which your Ape Language is basically, we're going to be making more money. That's essentially what it means Ape Language wise. As he believes it will be the next driver of innovation in biology. We're going to get into some quotes. That's basically a paraphrase of him. He's talked about this several times. Other top executives like the chief medical officer, chief financial officer, and chief operating officer have expressed their confidence as well. Not as often or as directly, but nonetheless, they seem very confident. It is hard to find any sort of quote from them in which they were not implying a bright future for their company. But of course, they are going to be a little biased, right? Sure, they're going to be a little biased. That's a good point, Brandon. They're going to be biased. What are you talking about, man? Plenty of companies' executives often do not share the same confidence Bionano's does. BIOLACE is a great example here. Insider sentiment and management issues, kind of, right? They just don't have the same growth plans in their earnings reports or in their articles and publications and whatnot that they PR, right? They just don't have that same sentiment of, we're going to be doing great things long term. We're going to be going big. This is just the beginning. Get on board or miss out. Yes, they're biased, but not every company has this sort of thing. So it is something that is unique to Bionano, and it's definitely something we should be taking into consideration. Several quotes from management displaying their confidence and enthusiasm for the future of Bionano and optical genome mapping with Sapphire. Here are your sources. If you'd like to go fact check me on these, the document will be linked in the pinned comment and the description that you can go watch the video and then get the document actual download, PDF download, whatever you wanted. You can view it, download it. Watch the video, do use the timestamps. I go over pretty much everything you can think of there. Nearly kill myself. The card will be up in the top right now for that. Asked about total addressable market. Remember, the total addressable market is the total revenue that you can yearly get, that the total demand, non-specific niche of whatever your company's products fit into, right? For example, genetic labs, right? Genetic genome analysis, cytogenetics, every sort of revenue that can be gained deriving from that, that's the total addressable market, right? Total available market, total addressable market, same thing. So in cytogenetics, broadly speaking, there's roughly 2,500 labs worldwide, probably somewhere between 2 million samples per year being processed for this type of molecular pathology. And overall, that represents somewhere in the neighborhood of a $3 billion to $3.5 billion market for us. And this is not the total market forever. This is the total addressable market. And what people don't realize here is, as we've said, and I'm going to have to keep going back to this because it's so important, everyone forgets it, it's yearly. I mean, this is not a small market whatsoever. Now, personally, I think this is actually undershooting the total addressable market in a large way, but this is the total money that you can get based on whatever demand, product, service you're offering, right? Total, yearly. This is huge, but it's actually bigger than this. So basically, we are getting, for a little bit of perspective here, Bionano's getting 10 million a year. Last year it was 8 million. The average is around 10 million based on 2016 to 2020. We have already done those numbers. That's the average. If we were to get even a 1% or 10% market share of this, I mean, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? We are talking thousands of percentages in the green for the stock price. Now, don't let that hype you up, because this is down the line, and most people already know this sort of stuff, but this is nonetheless, if the CEO and the management is right about the Sapphire's lifeline and optical genome mapping's innovation that it's going to bring, this is something that we definitely want to keep in mind. These numbers are not the biggest, and the serviceable obtainable market is going to be reaching more close to these numbers than the current revenue pretty soon. You know, it will at least be gaining some ground on these numbers. That includes some of the research markets as well, but it's something that I would really like to emphasize for these investors who are asking questions. That's the market that is right in front of us today. And with the technology accelerating capabilities as quickly as it is, keyword there, right? Accelerating quickly, innovation. They always like to hint towards more innovation and enhanced capabilities for the Sapphire is being used in research to discover new applications, right? New markets. The total market opportunity for optical genome mapping goes well beyond that low single-digit billion number, right? That's kind of what I was saying, right? We've already done the digging, and I haven't given a specific total addressable market number for BioNano entirely, because that is just really hard to pinpoint. I can do that maybe one day. We talked a lot about that in the market section, but it's definitely far beyond that, right? The CEO says that himself, and it's substantially larger. This is so important. Please understand me right here. It's harder for us to quantify it specifically when talking about the total market opportunity, right? That's what we're talking about here, because some of the applications haven't even been developed. Others are still on the come, and that's Eric. And notice, okay, oh my God, I mean, this is absolutely huge. Okay, so, and this is not a new quote, right? But it's so exciting because this just tells you what is to come for BioNano. It's hard, he's trying to calculate the total market, right? Some of the applications, aka markets / uses of the products, haven't even been developed. And remember, this is plural. We're not talking about one. We know right now, we know about one new innovation, right? Innovation, it is I would consider an innovation, kind of, which is the 1400 times higher throughput Sapphire, otherwise aka Sapphire 2.0, coming Q4 2021. Other than that, we don't know of anything else. So the fact that he is talking about some of the applications haven't even been developed, others, plural, key point, these are plural right here, others are still on the come. I mean, this is very indicative of more innovation, more products, more demand, more markets that they haven't tapped into yet. They're going to be developing these and penetrating these markets soon. I mean, that's how else do you interpret this? It's pretty damn clear, I would say. In regards to what investors should know about BNGO stock, this is only the beginning. That's Eric, right? And those are both according to Eric, my best friend. That's why I call him Eric, not the Eric Holman, Mr. Holman, CEO. We're on the first name basis. Yeah, totally. Not really, but paraphrasing. We believe that optical genome mapping will drive the next big innovation in biology, as long-read sequencing and next-generation sequencing innovation has leveled off. And these are the direct competition. This is the direct BioNano competition, right? We want these guys to burn, right? We want these guys to burn. If these guys can slow down in their innovation, BioNano can kind of take up and fill that gap. Thanks to your support, our shareholders, blah, blah, secure financial future, right? They're doing good as far as cash, which sets the stage for execution of our plan without the overhang of capital limitations, right? And what is their plan? What is the plan, Brandon? What does that mean? I don't understand. I'm an ape. Right, your Ape Language here, or not even Ape Language necessarily, but the plan that we've already went over, they say this multiple times. Global Sapphire adoption. That is what they want to do. That's their overall goal. That's their long-term vision, in their words, right? 2021 is going to be critical to the long-term growth, right? They're not focusing on, oh, let's just pump and dump, and it's going to be a pump and dump. No, long-term growth, global adoption of Sapphire, right? Okay, blah, blah, yada, yada. On the adoption of Sapphire for use in larger clinical studies that will allow us to obtain a critical mass of data on Sapphire application across a number of key areas, including, here we go, here's the good stuff: prenatal and postnatal genetics, hematological malignancies, including leukemias and lymphomas, and in solid tumors. I'm jumping around here as I've already gone over all of this in the full due diligence that we did. You can use your timestamps for timestamps in YouTube chapters, skip around to what you want to see. But right now, we're kind of just jumping to what's really important. And what's really important right now, actually, let me go ahead and come right here. So paraphrasing the CEO, right? The money we have raised this year puts us in a position which secures our financial future for the next few years, right? Not just 1 year, not just 2021, secures their financial future in the next few years. This is a direct quote from the Chief Financial Officer. Our strong balance sheet allows us to shift our focus to achieving our long-term vision of disrupting genomics and thereby contributing to advances in healthcare through the global adoption of Sapphire. There's a couple key points here that are a little off topic, but not really, right? Healthcare is a market that is absolutely humongous. I mean, we cannot even quantify the total addressable market of healthcare. Sapphire is going to be able to help in diagnosis, in prognosis, in treatment, preventative care, susceptibility awareness. I mean, that's not even it. I could go on if I had like a little sheet and just naming everything, right? We already have named everything. This is the sheet that does this. But right off the top of my head, I can tell you the total addressable market of BioNano and the Sapphire, if innovations and the CEO and what the management says is anything close to the truth, the total addressable market and the serviceable obtainable market, it's just going to be increasing, which basically your Ape Language just means the revenue is going to keep increasing every year. And even if it doesn't squarely, consistent growth, like 100% year-over-year revenue growth every year, it's going to go up in the long term, right? Maybe we may get 1 year that's a little down, 1 year that's huge, right? Whatever, right? Not every year is going to be the same, right? But long term, we're going to keep going up, right? 10-year outlook, we're going to be making hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue every year easily, if not way more than that. You know, it's going to grow substantially. If anything, if some of the stuff that they say, that the management says, if some of what they say is true. And furthermore, to really get next generation sequencing, right, direct competition to optical genome mapping, which is the Saphyr in particular, to work well in the clinic, right, it still requires extraordinary depth of coverage, which means that to make it work reliably, consistently, at a high throughput, right, which we have a high throughput Saphyr coming in, by the way, and at low cost, it's not possible to do whole genome analysis, right, with next generation sequencing. It's not possible, right? I'm not even talking about long read sequencing, right? And so it really leaves an opportunity for optical genome mapping, which is what Saphyr does, to come in and be the go-to solution to look at structural variation, which, by the way, I would not be surprised if we start right now. We're at like 500 base pairs to mega base pairs in structural variation detection. That's a little esoteric, right, according to their website. And then in the future, I would not be surprised if we start going down, right? 500 base pairs is the limit now that they can detect at a really high resolution, but I would not be surprised if we see more detection on lower structural variation base pair. If we can detect smaller structural variations with as high of an efficiency and detection accuracy, blah, blah, yada, yada, resolution, all that crap, right? Esoteric is crap. Ape Language, right? Let's get to the Ape Language, Brandon, come on. Before we get to the Ape Language, I want to do a real quick Chief Financial Officer here, Chris Stewart, said that Bionano believes its cash stockpile significantly de-risks the company, quote, solidifies our financial future and allows us to focus on that, right? We already talked about that, but I'm going to try to reiterate here. This is absolutely huge, right? Oh, we're going to get more offerings. We don't have anything, right? According to the Chief Financial Officer, I always say advisor. It sounds better, doesn't it? Significantly de-risk the company, solidifies our financial future in multiple years, right? We said earlier, multiple years, and again reiterating the global adoption of Saphyr. That is their long-term vision. Too long didn't focus. Okay, so CEO essentially said there is a much higher total addressable market than a low single-digit billion-dollar number, right? Chief Financial Officer believes financial future is their financial future is very secure. CEO thinks Bionano will drive the next big wave of innovation in biology, right? All this stuff we already know, basically. CEO alludes to hidden innovations potentially in a higher throughput Saphyr. He basically didn't really somewhat. We already talked about it. It's plural. He thinks a lot of the applications have not even been developed yet of the Saphyr and optical genome mapping applications, right? He thinks there's more applications that are not even there yet. That is why he said the total addressable market is bigger than this, because there's some applications that we're not even factoring in yet, right? The CEO thinks there's huge demand for large structural variation that is 500 base pairs or higher. He talks about how drug development is huge, and learning more about that with this detection could be groundbreaking. Their goal is long-term vision to disrupt genomics to the global adoption of Saphyr. Ape Language leader of company thinks we will invest now. So just to give you a little too long didn't focus, the sentiment for the insiders and the management is extremely high, and I think it's very clear to anyone that these guys are very optimistic. They are not even necessarily optimists. They just have a very positive goal and outlook and plan on the company, right? They all believe long-term, their long-term vision is to disrupt genomics to the global adoption of Saphyr. They really like what they're doing. CEO thinks there's applications for the Saphyr and optical genome mapping and Bionano that have not even been developed yet. So that's absolutely huge. So to reiterate in one sentence, I would just say the management is very bullish, and insider sentiment, regardless of the transactions, which are bullish as well. We have a whole section on that as well that you can read. But it is very bullish. If you would like to read up on Bionano, the financials, markets, FDA approval, competition, Simon and ARK, right? Is ARK ever going to invest, right? We cover absolutely everything you can think of in this 76-page document. I've given you a card in the top right earlier. Now I'm going to tell you a pinned comment or description. Both of those, it's going to be linked. It'll say BNGO Full DD. Very simple for you to find, my friends. Several ways you can get access to this. You can read it, you can watch it, download PDF, whatever you want to do. So this is basically my life's work, essentially. Not really, but it did nearly kill my brain and my brain cells. It killed 90% of my brain cells when I was writing this. So please go enjoy my hard work for you there. Portfolio showcase and current positions. We show my portfolio every video just to give everyone, you know, just to show everyone that I'm transparent and honest and showing you my portfolio, right? I believe in BIOL, right? I've got a lot of capital invested in them, at least for me. I'm a college student, right? Blah, blah, yada, yada. You've already heard the spiel. Anyways, relevant information in regards to the title is finished now. What do we do now? Set a reminder for the BNGO earnings report live stream. That's going to be fun. That's May 13th, Thursday, is this week. Earnings projections is coming soon. Description, there's a ton of auspicious links in the description. Just give it a look. BIOL's due diligence, camera. I've already kind of talked. If there's any camera wizards here, give me some camera recommendations. I'm trying to think about what camera we should use besides, you know, the crappy webcam we have right here, right? So yeah, I mean, it's honestly, it's not that bad, but yeah, we can do better. BIOL's DD, that is coming as well, so be looking forward to that. Maybe. I don't know when, I don't know how much, but yeah, a lot of questions still on that. But anyways, it's gonna be awesome. Anyways, thank you so much. This is not financial advice. I will see y'all in the next one.